With over 2,000 applicants every year, our biggest roadblock for placing more applicants into internships is having more companies host interns. I'm very pleased to welcome our keynote speaker, Ashish Agarwal, who's the founder and CEO of Solvuu. Solvuu is a technology startup building a data science platform to help life scientists manage, analyze, explore, visualize, and share genomics data. They've been a great partner in the program since we've started. Thank you so much, Ashish. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, everyone. I'm really glad to be here. Sound okay? Everybody can hear me? Right. I really love internship programs. I'm really glad to see all the interns here. I've always loved internships. I've done quite a few. My first internship was on an oil field. This was a long time ago. I'm older than I look. I was majoring in chemical engineering. And it was a really fun experience. I learned a lot. One thing I learned is that despite the wonderful science and engineering that gets done in the oil industry, I have a lot of friends in the oil industry, it just wasn't my thing. So that was my first most valuable internship, was to know that I do not want to work in that whole industry. I was in Berkeley. We were on the West Coast, Silicon Valley's close by. Making computer chips sounded much more exciting. So the second year, that's what I decided to do. Got a job in Silicon Valley as an intern, and worked for a company called Applied Materials, which is behind all the computer chips that are made. And that was really, really fun. Along that journey, while I was doing a lot of chemistry, what I started also doing was taking coding classes. I started writing code, and about my third year in college, I realized I should have been a computer scientist. I had chosen the wrong major. I chose chemical engineering because I enjoyed blowing things up when I was a teenager, right? It turns out that's not the greatest basis for choosing a career trajectory. Chemistry isn't really my passion. Writing code, I felt I was in my zone. So it's too late though. I had to just keep going, right? You can't change your major that far along. The chemical engineering program at Berkeley is particularly intensive. Their course requirements were really rigorous. You barely had flexibility in what courses you could take. If you took every requirement that they mandated, you could barely manage to finish your undergraduate degree in 4.5 years, right? But I took a bunch of extra computer science classes anyways. Didn't get any credit for them, just because it was fun. It's what I needed to do. I finished majoring in chemical engineering, worked in industry for a couple of years, worked at MIT for a little bit, worked in Silicon Valley again for a little bit, then decided to go get my PhD. I had majored in chemical engineering. What program am I going to apply for my grad school? Chemical engineering, even though I knew I should have been a computer scientist. So I found the most computational department, chemical engineering department that exists. That's Carnegie Mellon. Carnegie Mellon's chemical engineering department is very computationally focused. Joined the program knowing well that I wanted to be in one of the computational labs. That's the work I did for a couple of years. And the computer science department is actually, just walking distance, a few minutes away. And I kept going there too. And I realized that the computational work happening in the chemical engineering department wasn't quite computer sciencey enough. I wanted to go deep on computer science. I thought about switching majors. I was like, can I actually switch the PhD program in computer science? I would have to take 3 more years of classes. It wasn't possible. But somehow I just kept finding my way. I just kept reaching out to people. I emailed every single computer science faculty member in the department, and I eventually ended up working with a computer scientist. That was my main advisor. It was a theoretical computer scientist. My dissertation, which is technically, officially awarded by the chemical engineering department, has really no chemical engineering in it whatsoever. The dissertation is entirely in theoretical computer science. It's on programming languages theory. Okay. And then I finished my PhD, and I really enjoyed writing code. I really enjoyed the mathematical foundations of writing code. And I realized that I wasn't doing any science anymore. I was just a mathematician. I really wanted to write code for scientists. So this was early 2000s. Biology was the next frontier, much more exciting than chemistry. So I decided to get into biology for my postdoc, And that's when I learned about bioinformatics. That was the combination. That was biology plus computer science. That was what I was looking for all my life, but didn't quite realize it. I could write code, I could do it in service of science. Interestingly, biology labs were willing to hire me, even though I didn't know what DNA was. I had not taken a biology course since I was like a teenager. But they needed computer scientists so badly that I got 2 offers at Yale and took a postdoc position with both labs. Did a joint thing with them, got them to agree to do a joint offer for me. And so that's what I've been doing ever since. I've been doing bioinformatics for 15 years. Now I have a startup in bioinformatics. We build software to accelerate how bioinformatics work is done. And what I hope you can kind of take away from this is your career path can be very diverse and doesn't have to follow any of the things you hear about as requirements, right? I heard it all, right? I'm a chemical engineer, can't switch to computer science, it's too hard. I did. Switch to computer science, switch back, got back into science, right? If you go into academia, if you want to do a postdoc, you should be to become a faculty member. Otherwise, don't bother doing a postdoc. I never really wanted to be a faculty member. I kind of always wanted to be in industry. But I still did an academic position because I want to have deep expertise in whatever I do. And that's also highly relevant in industry jobs. I've heard that you shouldn't go to industry if you ever want to do academia, because once you go to industry, you never come back. I know plenty of tenured faculty who worked in industry and then came back to academia. So you've got all the options. I think the single driver that you should have is just do things that are really fun and that you're passionate about, and then you'll find the correct path. But it's easy to say that. You have to execute on that somehow. You have to keep looking for it, right? Don't just go in and follow the program that's given to you, right? Keep exploring and keep talking to people. You can reach out to everyone. Everyone is so helpful and responsive. And in the world of Zoom, I think one thing I would recommend is you ask people for 15-minute Zoom meetings, right? It's a little harder to do networking when there's less in-person events, but if you meet someone and everybody's not comfortable doing video calls, just do a 15-minute call. I bet you anyone who asks for a 15-minute call will say yes. I emailed all kinds of people who have won Nobel Prizes, leaders in their fields, Turing Award winners. Everybody's always replying to me. Okay, even though they didn't know my name, they didn't know who I was. The world is actually very friendly. So just reach out to people, and it's great. You'll learn more, you'll get further, and you'll find your own path. So I also want to point out that this program is really exceptional. We've been part of it since the beginning. We've had multiple interns through this program. As a scientist and as a computer scientist, we're often talking about the innovation in science. Deep tech, deep science, those are words, right? Innovations happen everywhere. Innovation happens in how governments are run. Innovation happens in how sales is done. We have accounting software that we use now that didn't exist before. Innovation is happening in how the job market works, right? When I was an undergraduate, there was no internship program. If you wanted an internship, it's like, good luck to you, just find it on your own. Some universities had career offices that could help. In my department, as an undergrad, I ran that career office. It was literally, I was the president of the Undergraduate Engineering Association, and we ran the career program for the entire department. All full-time jobs and internships that everyone got, it was because of an undergraduate organization that did it. We didn't have support like this, right? So this is amazing. I don't know how many cities have a program like this. This is rare, and it's really fortunate that the New York City Economic Development Corporation and Upper West are running this kind of program. I don't know how else you would do it. So you're really fortunate to have this. You've got a huge body of companies, a huge list of companies, and a huge number of interns that have been connected, and there's an ecosystem. There's so much innovation. There's innovation in the startup ecosystem. When I started my startup in New York City, there was no startup ecosystem. The NYC EDC knows as well. They started it, right? They funded multiple programs to make it happen. Now, we have a network and we can reach out and you can build a company here. 8 years ago, you want to build a company in New York? Hope you know how to do it. There was nobody really going to help you to do it. Now there's programs, there's a network, there's an ecosystem that can help you do it. So great program. Please take more advantage of it. If you're not graduating yet, do the internship program again next year. It's really a wonderful program. Thank you.
You got the umbrella.
All right, yeah.